Shameless Picture Show is part of the Cinepunks Network. If you like the Shameless Picture Show and you want to hear other great shows like it, make sure you check out the Cinepunks Network. You can find them at www.cinepunks.com. That's CINEPUNX. There's other great shows such as Cinepunks. There's The Carnage Report, Cinema Smorgasbord, Fat Girl Hacks, Loud, Fast, Philly, Tomb of Ideas, and Twitch of the Death Nerve, and so much more. If you like punk rock and you like movies, make sure to go to www.cinepunks.com. And let's not forget the sponsors for the Cinepunks Network. We have the Lehigh Valley Apparel Creations. They are the premier screen printer of the Lehigh Valley with service to the whole country, professional and personable in a way that only a DIY business can be. They also have ridiculously low prices for whatever your screen printing needs may be. You can visit them online at xlvacx.com. That's xlvacx.com. Lehigh Valley Apparel Creations. We also have the Essex Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted to order. They have high quality beans, bunch of apparel, and tea available. They are bringing high quality coffee to the masses without the pretentiousness. Use the code CINEPUNKS for 10% off your first order. You can visit them at www.essexcoffeeroasters.com. That's ESSEX, coffeeroasters.com. Once again, use the code CINEPUNKS for 10% off your first order. Big shout out to the band Crossed Keys for lending us that awesome fucking music during our little ad. That song is called Who We Never Were. You can buy that single currently off of Bandcamp. The band is called Crossed Keys. It will be on their full-length album, Believes in You. That song was lent to me by Crossed Keys, specifically, I don't know if he goes by Joey Angel or goes by Joshua Alvarez, but I met him as Joshua Alvarez. He's the co-host of Cinepunks, our fucking network, and I told him, I love this song, I want to use it, so that way people don't have to just listen to me talk, and he said, fuck yeah. So please, if you like the song is called Who We Never Were. You can get that on Bandcamp currently. It's off of their album Believes in You. You can get the 10 song LP is out May 5th, Friday, May 5th. You can actually order it on vinyl right now. So go show them some love. This episode is also brought to you by Paramount Pictures. Paramount Pictures is a legendary producer and global distributor of filmed entertainment since 1912. Paramount Pictures' library consists of more than 1,000 film titles with rights to an additional 2,500, featuring films by Hollywood's most respected filmmakers, including Martin Scorsese, J.J. Abrams, and Michael Bay, among others. Paramount Pictures' library consists of more than 1,000 films, including such classics as Star Trek, Godfather, and Indiana Jones franchises, Academy Award winners Braveheart, Forrest Gump, and Titanic, and current favorites such as the Mission Impossible and Transformers franchises. Paramount Pictures distributes its titles on DVD and Blu-ray through Paramount Home Entertainment. We are happy to have them. We fucking love Paramount Pictures.
Warning! This movie podcast actually discusses movies. Be aware that it may discuss any of the following elements: endings, surprise twists, unexpected cameos, and all manner of spoilers. If this doesn't appeal to you, why listen to a movie podcast? Without further ado, please enjoy our feature presentation, The Shameless Picture Show.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Shameless Picture Show. I am your host, Michael Viers, and joining me this week is a good friend of mine and a friend of the show. My guest today is a cinema lover like myself and an enthusiastic host of the Frightmares Podcast. My co-host today in the red corner is standing at a whopping 6'5", and we have Austin the Doc Proctor.
Oh, that was a delightful intro. I love it.
Well, you wrote it, so.
Don't tell everybody that. I know you love your intros, so I was like, I have a funny one here. Let me just see if this fits your fancy.
That was a good one, because normally I try to go with a quote from the movie, but like so many of the quotes from this movie were so dour.
Yeah, wasn't a very cheery film, you know.
I was promised a musical, goddammit.
Yeah. So yeah, I can understand, because usually there's some bit of dialogue you can use, but this was a very serious toned movie. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So Austin, how have you been, man? I feel like we talk a lot, but we haven't like caught up in a while. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Life's just been a blur ever since the wife's been pregnant. It's visits and doctors and drawing blood, and then we've got PT on top of that from the accident in January. So it's just it's been a lot. But no, I'm doing good. Today's been a good day. I feel like I've got like the best sleep I've ever gotten in forever. And then I picked up some movies at Best Buy today. They had 2 that I didn't even know. I wasn't even looking for one of them. So,
is there going to be a video for this?
Yeah, I'm gonna do my new release Tuesday tonight. So, yeah, but it's been pretty good. And then I got another one in the mail today. So good mail day. Doing a podcast tonight. It's been a pretty sweet day.
Yeah, I had a mail day the other day. Usually what I do, my mail days are a bit of a cheat for anyone who watches my TikTok. Here's a little inside baseball for you. I usually try to unless I know nothing else is coming for a while, I usually try to wait a couple days so I have at least a couple items.
Yeah, right. It's always better to have a couple to review than just one. So I totally
or
get that.
One big one.
Yeah.
Like Martin, for example. That's a video in itself.
Oh yeah. Did
There's
you get
the
fancy version that they did from what was it? Second Sight?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I got her big fucking boxes.
You and your big boxes.
I love them for one movie.
And that was one of my favorite part of your TikToks you did a while back. It was like, big fucking boxes. I was like, yeah.
Well, I originally shot it just for you, just because I was bored. And then you're like, you have to post this. I'm like, okay.
Do it. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was a video you sent to me. I was like, dude.
I just made that for you because I thought it was funny.
This is TikTok worthy. You got to do it. Oh, yeah. Good times, man. Big boxes. I still haven't even seen Martin. I've been wanting to see it, but I know. Is there a less expensive version of the one that you have? Is there one that's like just?
I believe so.
Okay.
Let me double check for you.
I was going to say.
But no, I've not seen it either.
I hear it's great. I mean, I hear it's a fantastic movie.
My wife took a what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Took a film class back when she was still in college. And she took a horror movie film class. And most of the movies I had seen, however, I was really impressed by this professor because he was pulling out shit that, some things I'd never even heard of. Like one of them was, a very strange, Mexican witch film that there are no legal copies of, and except for, at the UWM library and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then, and I think he showed his own personal copy of Martin.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, shit. There's a couple movies that you've seen that I haven't. But then there's one that I really want to see, and I haven't had a chance to see yet.
Yeah. Oh my God, I feel like my shameless is just always growing, It's like I find out about something new and I have to put it on there and I'm like, damn it. But this was on there for me. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you hadn't. Was this a first time watch for you?
Yes. This was one that I intentionally put on. I bought the Criterion 4K when it came out. And with the intention of watching it, and you know how it is. Sometimes it's like you buy something you're really excited about, and then you're like, "Ooh, look at this over here."
Yeah, I have a whole row on my horror movie rack here, an entire row of stuff I've bought and haven't watched yet. It's tragic. My goal for this year is to get through that rack so I can say I've watched every movie that I own.
Honestly, that's a great goal. By the way, not to cut off our conversation, but there's 3 versions of Martin.
Oh.
There's the big fucking insane one that I got. That's you can get it right now off a Diabolic DVD. They're it's $51, the big one that I got.
That's not bad.
There's a standard, just regular all region 4K for $30.
Okay.
And then you have to have a region free player, but you can get the Blu-ray, which is region B, for $20.
Okay, so I'll probably look into the mid-range option because I don't have a region-free player yet. It's one thing I still need to get.
Well, my wife got me one for my birthday one year, and it's
nice.
great. I love it. But around that time, so many things weren't being released in this, over here. But then, shortly after I got it, so many things started getting a U.S. release.
Yeah, that has been. So it's like the second you get it to use it, it's like, oh, everything's just getting released over here. Yeah,
thus far, though, I think I've got 2 movies. No, I've got maybe a couple more than 2. But the originally I bought one of the first things I wanted to get was David Lynch's Fire Walk with Me, because before Criterion put it out, you couldn't really get that movie on Blu-ray in this country. Now it's pretty available. But then, I think the one movie that I have that does not have a Blu-ray release anywhere else in the world. Oh no, that does not have a Blu-ray release in the United States of America. Super Mario Brothers.
Oh wow.
I'm surprised no one's jumped on it. At least for just like the like, I don't know if Arrow can do like a big special edition of Mallrats, which I love. But, you know, they've done multiple releases of Mallrats, but no one's done Super Mario Brothers.
That really seems like a Scream Factory. I mean, they put out Garbage Pail Kids. I mean, that movie's pretty atrocious.
Maybe like Shout Select.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a Shout Factory. Maybe a Vinegar Syndrome, you know, but yeah.
I can definitely see Vinegar Syndrome doing like a very limited run of Super Mario Brothers for like Black Friday. Say, like, I can see them doing it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that they didn't have a Blu-ray. I mean, it's probably because it didn't do very well, I assume, so no one wanted to do a Blu-ray for it.
Yeah, well, Mallrats didn't do well upon release, but look at that.
Oh, true. All right, it's time to email Scream Factory.
Yeah, let's be real. I will rebuy that movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of that, did you see the new animated one, Super Mario Brothers?
I did. I loved it.
I loved it too. I
had a huge smile on my face the entire time.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, I shouldn't say it was everything I wanted from a Super Mario Brothers movie, because everything I wanted from a Super Mario Brothers movie I got back in 1993. But if I'm gonna get everything, it was everything I wanted from a Super Mario Brothers movie that's made today.
Yeah.
Meaning, you know, that it has a lot more lore to pull from, a lot more video games to pull from. You know, back in 93, there had been like maybe a handful of Mario games. Like now they have so much to pull from. And
they pulled from Smash Brothers. They pulled from Mario Kart. They pulled from so many games. It was really cool. I really enjoyed it. A lot more than I thought I would. I figured it would be fun, but...
Yeah. I went in expecting just to have it like a good turn off my brain, have a good time movie, but it turned out just to be a good movie.
And it was only like 90 minutes, so you're in and out. They didn't overstay its welcome.
Breeze.
Yeah, breeze, in and out. Yeah, that was a fun
I'm not
one.
a big Chris Pratt fan, but he was fine.
It didn't bother me. Yeah, I really
No.
thought I'd be like, ugh, but no, I was fine with it. And Charlie Day's Luigi was everything.
Bowser, or Jack Black as Bowser is just kind of perfect casting. And then me and my wife who are big Seth Rogen fans, were just cackling the entire time.
Him as Donkey Kong was good. Jack Black's song as Bowser. Peaches was the funniest thing I've seen in a kid's movie.
It apparently cracked the Billboard Top 100.
And it can be nominated for like best original song at the Oscars. Like it has that.
God, can you imagine? I don't even care if it wins. I just want it to get nominated just so we can get that performance.
Yeah, just nominated. That's fine. I don't care if it wins.
Just Jack Black at a piano dressed as Bowser with really dramatic lighting. Like,
I would kill to see that. I would tune in for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna do to get the ratings up. Get Jack
Black back there.
It'll be an apology for not nominating him for King Kong.
Yeah, for what? Oh, from back in like 2005.
Yeah, 'cause he deserved it for that movie. He was great in that movie.
I'm one of the few people that really does enjoy that movie. I mean, more so when they're on the island, but you know, I still enjoy it for what it is. I have a good time with that one.
Oh, Jack Black. It wasn't a great line in the original movie, but Jack Black makes "It was beauty that killed the beast" a lot more palpable.
Yeah.
It's not a good line.
It's not great.
Like, it's kind of a great line, but also really terrible.
At the same time, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of both.
Like,
some column A,
when they wrote it, like back in 1932, when they wrote it, that was a fucking killer line. It's like, oh shit, we're never gonna do better than this.
And they were right. Yeah, they were right.
Yeah. But no, you should definitely pick up Martin.
All right.
That's
I'll peruse.
I've not watched it yet, but I don't know. I've been on a kick of rediscovering Romero.
Oh, okay.
Just like, you know, everyone knows the zombie movies he's made are iconic. And even like, I love Land of the Dead. Like, I know it's not one of his best, but like, I still love it.
Yeah, I like that one.
But like, I've been having a lot of, ever since it started back when I did Night Riders on this podcast, actually. But then since then, like when the pandemic began, I watched The Crazies for the first time, which was not a smart choice when the world was falling apart around me.
No, definitely not.
And I just like, he's one of those. He's I feel like one of the most talked about horror filmmakers who still doesn't get the respect he deserves outside of his zombie films.
Yeah, because I mean he's done other things, plenty of other things.
Yeah,
but he does really seem to get recognized mainly for, you know, all the zombie. I mean, but he is like a pioneer in that genre, so you know he did a lot of stuff with that genre.
Yeah, but like I've had a good time just kind of like rediscovering his work, and Yeah, and like I haven't been like, when there's a filmmaker I like and I want to like discover more of, I don't like to just like binge through a bunch of their movies at one time, because I feel like I can then start to not focus on them as well. Does that make sense? Like,
If you like,
I like having things to look forward to.
yeah, if you kind of overdo it or like oversaturate yourself with one thing, everything kind of tends to like bleed together. Like that's at least for me.
Yeah. So like
yeah.
it's like whenever you like looked at if anyone looks at my like Letterboxd like most watched directors list, it's not usually more than like 2 or 3, maybe 4, just because I don't like go on binges of watching the same director unless it's like animated films that's like shorts and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I also like having things to look forward to. Like to this day, I've still not seen, even though he's my favorite filmmaker, I've not watched every John Carpenter movie because I still want new ones to like look forward to.
There's still a couple I haven't seen. There's a few, but very select few, because he's one of my favorites, and I'm usually watching at least 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of his movies a year. But yeah, one from Romero that I'm really a fan of is Creepshow, and it's actually getting a 4K from Scream Factory too, which is nice.
Is it?
Yeah.
So
Someone's at the entryway doorbell.
Whoa.
Who's
Apparently.
yelling at me?
Yeah, apparently my Google will tell me if there is
Intruder.
Oh, Amanda must be setting up her new doorbell. I didn't realize it was connected to Google.
Oh, you're
already.
fine. I heard the doorbell. I was like, oh, someone's probably just at the door.
I thought that was on your end. It's like, man, that sounded like it was in the room with me.
Nope, my doorbell's off.
This is going to be an unpopular opinion.
Oh, hit me with it.
And then we could talk about, and then we could either talk about your opinions on Roger Ebert here, or we could talk about it later on. But unpopular opinion, I don't love Creepshow.
Oh, okay.
So I've watched a couple times, and I don't dislike the movie. I should specify that.
Yeah.
But every time I've watched it, I've liked it just a tiny bit less.
Oh no, is there any particular reason why?
It's too long.
Yeah, it is.
It feels its length. Like I feel like you can cut out one section of that film, and it'll be a lot tighter because like each section itself is quite long.
Yeah, it's about. I think they're about 30 minutes a piece.
And this is sometimes my problem with anthologies, to get the timing right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like sometimes they're too long, sometimes they're too short. Creepshow clocks in right, like just at right around 2 hours, maybe just a little bit over. And it's like that's long for. It just feels its length, like because the first couple sections, like, oh, I'm really into this, I like this, and then by the time the third one comes around, I'm like, okay, this is great, and then another one happens. I was like, oh, okay. And then I think one more happens after that, and then the wrapper, I'm like, okay, there's just too many.
Yeah, 5 is a lot. I mean, VHS has like usually 4 or 5 or 6, but they're like no more than an hour 42. So yeah, 2 hours for an anthology is definitely a long time. I don't know. I'm a sucker for them, so I usually give them more credit too, because I love anthologies. No matter the length. I mean, if you're going to be pushing like 2.5 hours, maybe not. But I think 2 hours is about my limit for anthologies, and that's exactly 2 hours. So,
Creepshow has 5 sections and a wraparound.
Okay.
Granted, the wraparound's not very long.
Yeah.
But like I think 4 could have. Yeah, the movie's an hour and 57 minutes. So just for me,
tad long.
You're thinking like an editor. It's like, oh, I could have trimmed some of this.
Probably, yeah.
But it's not to say that I don't like the movie. It's just it hasn't stuck with me.
Okay.
So before we transition into the movie,
yes,
you had talked about your dislike for film critics. Is it weird considering you are kind of a film critic?
Yeah, I just know that I guess I have a distaste for them just because I just always feel like they're looking for the bad in things, as to where I'm typically looking for the good in things. I try, even if I hate a movie, I try to find at least one thing I liked, and I just feel like, I mean, obviously critics are there to be critical, I totally get it, but I don't know, I just feel like they just seem to focus more on negatives than like, talking more about what's wrong with it, as opposed to like, oh, this is what's good about it. That's just my opinion, and I know I have very unconventional opinions when it comes to movies, so I'm far from being a critic, but But yeah, I don't know. I like talking about the good stuff in movies. That's what I'm going to focus on with Raging Bull today. Of all the stuff I didn't like, I'm rather talk about what I did like.
At the same time, I also don't want you to feel like you have to stifle yourself.
Oh, no. I'll tell you what I didn't like. I'm just going to focus on the good.
I agree. But it's one of those things, like I used to have a really strong dislike for film critics myself. And I just think it came down to, like, why don't they like what I like? But then I got to a certain point where I realized I don't necessarily always want people to like what I like.
That's
and
true.
I have found joy, maybe not joy, but like I've found I've been able to appreciate the job of the film critic more, especially when there is things they don't, because sometimes they'll bring things to my attention. It's like, oh shit, I never considered that.
Right.
And I was specifically speaking about Roger Ebert. He is a film critic that I have a lot of respect for, even though I don't always agree. But what I find amusing, so amusing about him is one, he has two sides. There's two sides of the coin that is Roger Ebert that I really appreciate, and I appreciate them both for very wildly different reasons.
Okay.
You get the side of Roger Ebert where he is a very eloquent and well-spoken, well-written person that can really dig in deep about why he did or sometimes did not like a movie.
Right.
But then you also get troll Roger Ebert, and that in itself is phenomenal in its own way.
Yeah.
Like I will never forget his review for Vincent Gallo's movie The Brown Bunny, and he gave it a scathing review. He hated it, and Vincent Gallo took it personally. And Vincent Gallo was like, "Yeah, you may have hated my movie, but at least I'm not like a fat ass or some shit. Like that." You know, just a lowbrow thing."
Burn.
And Roger Ebert goes, "I can lose weight, but you will always be the director of The Brown Bunny."
That's a fact. That's a pretty sick burn right there.
So sometimes, like, I like that he's got two sides of that coin.
Yeah.
And back when he was alive, you never knew what side you were gonna get.
Oh, I did not know I did not know he passed away.
Oh yeah, he passed away.
Oh wow.
Quite a while ago. I want to say like maybe 8 to 10 years ago.
Oh geez, wow.
If you're interested, there's a really incredible documentary about him. I don't remember the exact title. Give me 1 second. Ebert doc.
One thing about him too, though, is it always drove me.
Oh, it's called Life Itself.
Life Itself. Okay, yeah, I'd watch that. But what was with his rating system out of 4 stars? Get out of here with that.
I don't understand the 4-star ratings. I feel like Leonard Maltin, who is one of my favorite critics as well, uses that, and I don't get. I can't wrap my mind around it.
Yeah, it's like 5 or 10. So doing 4, it completely just melts my brain.
Well, Joe Bob Briggs does 4 all the time, and I'm always just trying to like, how can I equate this to a 5-star system?
I can't,
because like when like he would be like, Joe Bob gives it 4 stars, and I'm like, okay. Oh, that's the best you got. So like, I'm trying to like, okay, for me that would be blank, and
yeah, like I couldn't even try to do the math on that. So it drives me crazy because I got to do 5 because at least IMDb is 10 and I can translate 5 to 10. That's no problem. But 4, I'm like, I don't know, I can't work with this. Get out of here with that.
There's I don't know if you ever followed pro wrestling, but there's a guy named Dave Meltzer who writes about pro wrestling.
Okay.
And he's got a 5-star system for rating professional wrestling matches. What stresses me out about his system, 1, he breaks his own system. So he's given like it's a 5-star system. He's given like 3 matches 7 stars.
Okay, hold on. Back it up.
And then what'll be really difficult, can't figure out how his brain works because he'd be like, oh, this match is 2 3/4 of a star. I'm like,
no.
What's the 3? Like, because like half stars could be like, oh, you're almost this,
right? But
like 3/4 of a star?
No.
Like, what is that?
See, even your dog has something to say about it.
Yeah. I'm gonna warn everyone listening right now. You might hear some sounds. Obviously my Google Home's been going off. The dogs will probably get. Amanda might be. She just bought a wood chipper, so she might be chipping some woods.
Oh shit! Okay.
Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen on this episode of the Shameless Picture Show? So do you wanna talk about the movie?
Oh yeah, I've got. Where'd my phone go? Got my notes here.
On today's episode of the Shameless Picture Show, we're delving even deeper into what's becoming one of my favorite subgenres of film, the boxing movie. And I'm finally scratching Raging Bull off my shame list. Jake LaMotta is a powerhouse in the middleweight division of professional boxing. When we first meet Jake, he's lost his first fight, but he feels he should be a contender for the middleweight title despite the loss. Jake's brother, Joey, feels Jake is ready for the big time and realizes that fewer opponents want to fight him because of his clubber-like style. Jake wants to earn his title shot, but the Mafia is tied up in the boxing world so tightly that Jake doesn't know if he can do it without their help. On top of all of this, Jake has issues with anger and jealousy. He doesn't trust his young, beautiful wife and cracks anyone who even looks at her. Jake LaMotta is a tough, unsympathetic person, but he's the story we follow. Story goes that Martin Scorsese originally had no interest in developing Raging Bull into a film, but found himself really relating to the character of LaMotta and his passion for boxing. While Scorsese himself was never a fan of sports and found boxing to be particularly boring, he found Raging Bull at the lowest point in his life and was able to find parallels between boxing and filmmaking. Upon release, Raging Bull was not a box office smash, and Scorsese worried about the future of his career, and the critics were mixed on the film. It was ultimately met with praise, relating the film to that of a train wreck. Hard to watch, yet captivating. Raging Bull would go on to be nominated for 8 Academy Awards, 2 of which it won for Best Performance for Robert De Niro and Best Editing for Scorsese regular Thelma Schoonmaker. The film would go on to be considered a classic of filmmaking, and many consider to be the film to be Scorsese's masterpiece. And the film has topped multiple best of lists such as AFI, Sight and Sound, and the New York Times. However, actually, I think this movie might have just made it off the Sight and Sound list this year. But it was on previous ones, so who cares? Raging Bull was written by Paul Schrader and Mardik Martin, based on Jake LaMotta's autobiography, with cinematography from Michael Chapman and editing by Thelma Schoonmaker. Fun fact about Michael Chapman, he is the husband of the director of Slumber Party Massacre. The film stars Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Frank Vincent, and Kathy Moriarty as Vicky LaMotta from 1980. This is Raging Bull.
What do you want? You're nothing but a fat pig, selfish fool.
Jake, he's embarrassing me with the people. What is it with him? Why does he have to make it so hard on himself? For Christ's sake.
No matter how big I get, no matter who I fight, no matter what I do, I ain't never gonna fight Joe Louis.
Yeah, that's right. He's a heavyweight, you're a middleweight. We know that.
I ain't never gonna get a chance to fight the best there is. And you know something? I'm better than him.
The man's got a head of rock.
It's just that when he gets something on his mind, he's got a hard head, he likes to do things his own way. He's gonna do what he wants to do, he wants to make it on his own, Thinks he can make it on his own.
Make it on his own. He thinks he's gonna walk in there and become champion on his own. And he's got no respect for nobody, he doesn't listen to nobody. That's not crazy.
I'm tired of having to turn around and having both of you up my ass all the time.
He's just been a contender too long. He'll be all right as soon as he gets his shot.
Jake is never gonna be champ. Too many people hate him.
He's gonna get a shot at that title, not without us, he ain't.
Trailer for the new 4K release, theatrical release for the film.
That was a fantastic trailer.
It
honestly.
Was.
Seeing that after watching the movie, that is very well done. They didn't give too much away. That was
it's
solid
my favorite
trailer.
Type of trailer where it's almost like a tone poem, where it gives you can watch it and know everything you have to know about the movie without really knowing exactly what it's about. You don't know the entire story. It gives you an idea of tone. It gives you an idea of visuals, and that's all I want. I don't really watch trailers. I'll sometimes watch 30 seconds of a trailer or something just to get an idea of how the movie looks and kind of get an idea of what their tone is. But if more trailers are like that, where it's just just give me the bare minimum.
Yeah, that was 45 seconds, maybe a minute?
That was a minute 40, minute 52, almost 2
minutes.
minutes.
Oh, wow, that didn't even feel like
it's
that.
It's short. Yeah.
That didn't even feel like 2 minutes. So, yeah, it's a problem with some places I have, like Netflix. They have, like, 4-minute trailers. I'm like, guys, just give me the meat and potatoes and call it a day. That was a perfectly executed trailer.
It's funny. So before we talk about the film, I noticed that about trailer lengths. Since I stopped doing it just because it became a lot of work, but I used to put the trailer for whatever movie I was discussing on TikTok. Plus, I got sick of. I was always wondering in the back of my mind if that was hurting my reach because of using other people's content.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was, but I convinced myself it was, so I stopped doing it. And it would be, if I was talking about a newer movie, I'd be like 3-4 minute trailer.
Yeah.
Easy. But then, because what I used to do is I used to play the trailer and I used to time me reading the my reviews to the length of the trailer.
Oh, jeez.
3-4 minute trailer, easy.
Yeah.
But what I used to run into is a lot of movies you get like from Vinegar Syndrome and whatnot, like a minute and two. It has like a 1-2 worth of like trailer.
That's it.
Maybe 2 minutes if you're lucky. Like, oh fuck, I don't got a lot of time.
Yeah, you gotta speed read this.
Yeah, so many older movies just had shorter trailers. So
interesting. Yeah, no, that was a great trailer for. I like that I watched that after seeing the movie.
Yeah, that's actually what I like to do. Is I like to after I've watched the movie, I'll go through like, especially if a disc has like trailers and stuff. Then I'll go through.
I'm gonna start doing
How
that.
did you advertise this movie to us? Now that I've seen it,
right? How was it portrayed to the public before anybody saw it? Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
This is Raging Bull, first time watch for you, correct?
First time watch. I was going to buy the 4K, but I was like, okay, let me not spend $40 on a movie that I'm not sure if I even like yet. So it luckily was streaming on HBO Max, so that is where I watched it. But yeah, first time watch, and so here's my little thing that I told you about before we get into it. So I had no idea, and I'm like an hour and 20 minutes into this movie at this point. No idea that this was a biopic. That this was about a real person. So I'm sitting here watching the movie like I don't like anybody in this movie. Everyone's just being a shithead to each other. And then me and Gabby went on a walk and she was like, oh yeah, it's about some guy. So I was looking up, I was like, oh, it's about Jake LaMotta. She's like, yeah, it's a biopic. I'm like, well, that changes everything about this movie because now I know that De Niro is playing someone else because I thought he was just being a dick. I was like, I don't like De Niro in this. But it completely changed everything, and I was like, oh, he's giving a great performance, actually. So my opinion was flipped on a switch.
It's interesting, because like Scorsese's talked about that, too. He's like, movies like this are some of his favorite, where you are forced to spend time with a person you don't like. Mm-hmm. And can you sit there and watch the movie and, sympathize with them or sympathize with the story? Can you relate to it? And it's also interesting too. So the story behind this movie is that Robert De Niro, he approached Scorsese about making him.
Okay.
De Niro, while making Godfather 2, just had a copy of the Raging Bull book with him and was reading it constantly and just found himself gravitating towards it. Not necessarily because he liked, Jake LaMotta as a person. He liked the character. He thought this would be a good character to play. And he even said, it's like, this book is not very well written, but there's something here. And as I said in my intro, this came at a very low point for Scorsese. Scorsese was like practically dying from cocaine addiction.
Oh God.
He was like in the hospital. Like I think after an overdose and was like getting like a blood transfusion or some shit, practically dying. Thought, his career was over. Did not expect to get better. He has said that he thought this was going to be his last movie. Not because he wasn't going to make another one, just because he didn't think he was going to live long enough.
Oh,
so that shows how bad that cocaine addiction was.
Whoa.
Which also explains why he talks so fast.
He does talk quick.
But De Niro pretty much just like threw the book at him and said, "We're going to make this. Let's do this." And Scorsese kind of just emptied himself, like put everything he had into making the movie because he's like, well, it's something, and maybe this will help me get clean or whatever.
Yeah.
And like I said, he originally had no interest in doing it because he didn't. It's funny that a guy who does not like boxing made arguably one of the best boxing films of all time.
Yeah.
But found something to relate to. And it's kind of interesting if you think about like this movie is a boxing movie, but it doesn't focus that on, like, boxing's a huge part of it. But we never really, it's not like Rocky where we see him training and getting ready for the fight. It's like Jake takes everything that's going on in his personal life and takes it to the ring.
Yeah, or he'll just be using Joey as a punching bag, because there's a couple times where he's just wailing on his brother. I'm like, dude, you're a professional boxer. Maybe you don't give your brother haymakers, man.
So, what did you think about the movie? I know you've kind of hinted at a little bit how you thought.
So overall, as a film, like I said, until I knew it was a biopic, I just really wasn't into it. Like I said, I didn't really find anybody I could connect with or any characters that were redeemable. Because, even Vicky, I'm just like, why are you still with this guy? So it's like I can't even feel for her if she's not going to get up and just walk out of the situation. I mean, obviously we know eventually that happens, but so yeah, I was just kind of like, I don't know. But then when she told me it's a biopic, it's like, okay, now I have to completely look at this movie with a new lens. Like De Niro is playing someone, all these people are playing real people, or at least I assume based off of real people. So it kind of changed the tone immediately for me, and I started to appreciate it. But I only had about 35 minutes left, so there was really only about 35 minutes of movie that I genuinely appreciated because of what I found out halfway through. So I really need to actually rewatch this knowing it's a biopic and see if it changes. Because right now I enjoyed it for what it was. I don't think it's necessarily a masterpiece, but I do think it's very well done, very well acted. So I did, by the end of it, wind up enjoying it. I just definitely need to rewatch knowing that it's a biopic about a real person who existed.
I'm curious if your opinion on it will go up the second time, because like I actually really liked it the first time.
Okay.
But it is one of those movies that like I feel like I can end up loving it after if I see it again, if that makes sense. So I really liked Raging Bull, and I don't know if I'm quite ready to put it on the level of masterpiece yet, but I can see maybe down the line, because like there's just so many interesting elements to this movie. As I said in my intro, like Jake LaMotta is not a good person. He is a piece of shit, and he is the character that we are following. That being said, I was riveted the entire time. I didn't know what I wanted to happen. I didn't know if I wanted him to get his just desserts. I didn't know if I wanted him to come out on top. I didn't know if I wanted him to wind up drunk in a fucking alleyway. So I didn't know what I wanted out of him.
Right.
But I was just enjoying the ride and not knowing quite where it was going. I kind of had an idea because I've seen enough boxing movies to kind of get an idea of where it might be going. I didn't see him becoming a stand-up comedian. That's for fucking sure.
That's in my notes. I'm like, wait, did he really transition into stand-up comedian? It's like, what's going on here? He owns his own bar called Jake LaMotta's. Like,
that was one of the best like visual jokes in the. Come on, guess the name. Guess the name.
Bing,
Come on, guess the name.
Bright
Hard
lights.
cut to Jake LaMotta's.
It's like Back to the Future 2. It's like Biff's Tower or whatever. You're like, nailed the name, guys. All you needed to use. So, yeah,
we had four guys coming up with names, and that was the best we came up with.
That was the best one we came up with. Yeah, and it was actually pretty funny the first time. The second time he did the stand-up, it wasn't too great because he was, the crowd was heckling him. But the first time he was doing it, I was laughing. I was like, this is actually pretty funny. It was not too bad.
And so I found myself really respecting. One is that it's like a masterclass in editing and filmmaking, and just like the way, like I said, for someone who does not find interest in sports and boxing, Scorsese found a way to shoot it in such a way that if I didn't know better, I would have assumed he was a huge boxing fan, because he was able to find the beauty in it and the poetry in it, and just the way that like Thelma Schoonmaker cut this stuff. Like we studied scenes from this movie in school before I ever saw it.
Oh wow.
So like just cold, like just sit down and watch the scene and talk about like the editing and how does it convey tone and what is it doing. And
yeah, I'll say that the boxing scenes were edited very well. Like I really enjoyed every single boxing match they had on screen, especially towards the end because it gets a little bit more brutal. They were shot very well. Like I was impressed. I was like, damn, this is pretty awesome. Very also, cinematic.
Like, I found myself really just appreciating. It's crazy. So it's a pretty high energy, chaotic film anytime we're in the ring.
Oh yeah.
But then anytime we're outside of the ring, it's kind of a quiet, relatively small movie, and I found myself really enjoying the juxtaposition between those two worlds, and just like, you know, when things were good, before they all went to complete shit, you know, just like this. Granted, anything bad that happens in this movie is all completely fucking Jake's fault. But like, there's a scene at one point where him and his brother Joey are just sitting there eating chicken together, and it's like, you guys are having a good day. You guys are having a good afternoon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were just sitting there having a conversation. Because wasn't that the time he was like really starting to get suspicious of Vicky, and he's like, "What's she doing? I know she's doing something." He was very, very suspicious of Vicky.
Some of it probably comes down to his own insecurities because he knows that's how he met Vicky.
That's true. Well, so did they ever, the girl in the very beginning, I think her name was Jackie, the very first girl that he was with.
That was his wife.
Yeah, so they just never really explained, unless I missed it. They don't.
It was never really explained.
Yeah, it's just like he's just with Vicky now.
Yeah, I think her name is actually Irma.
Oh, I could have sworn I heard someone say Jackie.
I don't know. Maybe they were calling. I've got the credits up. That's the only reason I know. I would have no idea.
Irma. That's not even close. Irma and Jackie. But yeah, her. It was just funny. I was like, where did she go? Oh, he's just with Vicky. All right.
Yeah, I assume they got divorced and whatever, and you know.
But wasn't she also?
Amanda made a comment. My wife made a comment on that at one point, where because like when Jake first brings Vicky back to the house, and she goes, "Oh, I think she's still out shopping or something," and then like they just kept getting together, and like Amanda's like, "Where's his wife?" He's like, "Probably still shopping."
Oh, that's right. She did say that. Okay, so there was a brief moment, maybe. Okay.
Yeah. So Amanda's like, "Where's she at?" And I was probably still shopping.
Probably still shopping. She's not coming back. But it was okay. So how old is I almost said Pacino? How old is De Niro's character supposed to be in this? Because Vicky was 15, and I'm like, that's gross. That is a minor. Like, how old is?
But they met each other in 1941, correct?
Something like that? 1941 is when they met. Yeah. So So
Jake LaMotta was born in 1922. So he was 40. He's not 41. He was 19.
Oh, okay. 19
so
and
it's
15.
Still,
okay,
it's
still kind of gross.
It's still gross, but especially because he's not like 40.
Okay, because De Niro was 37 in real life, and she was 20 in real life, and even that's kind of icky. I'm like, that's 27 years apart. Okay, so he was at least supposed to be playing a teenager. Okay. Yeah. Because I'm like, dude, 15. I was like, if you're in your 20s, man, this is really weird. Okay, just glad I got that straight because I had no idea.
Kathy Moriarty was just like I definitely see why Scorsese cast her. So I've always liked Kathy Moriarty, but this was like the first movie that she was. This was the first movie she was ever in.
Oh, really?
She got the role because Joe Pesci, who was just about to retire from acting, because Joe Pesci was actually a child actor. And I wanted to see like a young Joe Pesci, like. You know, like, hey, Mom, can I have some cookies or some shit like that?
This was the youngest I've seen all these actors. De Niro, fucking Pesci. I don't think I've seen them in anything beyond 80 because Casino wasn't until like
Yeah. So 90? This is like Joe Pesci's first big role. And actually
really?
to the point where like I think like Robert De Niro saw him in some like shitty B movie and it was like, hey, there's there's something about this Pesci guy. And I think like producers actually gave them like we're like, I don't know if you should be casting no-name actors. And then it worked out because both Pesci and Moriarty were nominated for Oscars. So.
Oh wow, for Raging Bull.
Yeah.
Wow.
For this movie.
Wow.
And I can definitely see why Scorsese cast Moriarty. Like she kind of steals every scene she's in with very little, you know. She like very little like. Just a couple glances and the way that she carries herself.
I find her to be just a very fierce woman, honestly. You know, she's very, she holds up. You know, she stands up for herself.
100%. And I just felt like the way that she interacted with LaMotta in these scenes, I thought was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, everybody in this really, to me, was really given a solid performance. I didn't really find like a wink or weak link in the chain. You know what I mean? Like they were all just giving a very, very good performance. Every single actor on screen. Pesci was great. I love Pesci's interactions with De Niro. I thought they were very good. Of course, they went on to do many more things together. But yeah, everybody on screen gave it their all. Frank Vincent as well. He was fantastic. Who was Tommy? Oh, here we go. Nicholas Colasanto. Tommy Como. I thought I had seen him in other things, but going through besides like maybe Cheers, I don't really recognize anything he's done. But he had a familiar face, but I might have just been confusing him with someone else.
It very well could be. Yeah, he did have a really familiar face. Like I kept feeling like I know this guy from something.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of Frank Vincent. That's the guy I know. Sopranos, Casino, Goodfellas. That's the guy I know.
Gotcha.
Frank Vincent. He played Salvi in Raging Bull.
Okay. Yeah, Frank Vincent I definitely knew. I couldn't think of at the moment where I knew him from.
He's in all those, gangster Italian movies.
Gangster Italian movies. So, what about, besides De Niro's character, was there anything else that you weren't like vibing with necessarily in this film? I'm just kind of curious.
Oh, I mean, I know, like I said, I know it's a biopic and I know this is who he was. I just do not like when men talk to women that way, and when they hitting women, it really just puts me off. I don't like it. I'm like an advocate for, making sure we respect women and stuff like that. So seeing that in movies, when it's not really relevant to the plot, although technically it kind of was, because that's who he was as a person. But yeah, I'm not for violence against women on screen, hitting them and, talking down to them, because even Pesci too, his character was just very rude to his wife.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something I'm not a fan of, and there's a lot of that in this movie. So you do have to know that going in.
It's interesting too, because like you get a lot of that in Scorsese's films, especially his gangster films, and Scorsese often says that, say something like Raging Bull, he had no knowledge of who Jake LaMotta was going into this film, but he had he didn't know the world of boxing, but he knew the world around it, is the way he described it.
Okay.
Meaning, like, he didn't know any of what the stories of any of these people, but he knew the types of people because he grew up in neighborhoods like this. And that's just really funny to me, because whenever you hear Martin Scorsese talk about his life as a kid, he often talks about how he was, a really sickly child, and I just can't imagine like. Was Martin Scorsese just the mascot or something? Because he doesn't seem like these people, but he said he grew up with these types of people. Okay. So some of that was it's just interesting that he is so fascinated by this world. I almost wonder if not necessarily the misogyny aspect of it, but did he want to be in this world? Did he want to be these guys?
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing to consider too. I mean, was he born in New York and from that area? Is that why he knows people like that?
Yeah, he grew up in the Bronx. Grew up in New York.
Okay, so then that might just be a product of his environment and why it might be in some of his movies. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's definitely something to consider. So yeah, it's probably just a product of the environment, product of the time, if that seems to be a consistent thing in Scorsese's work. I honestly don't think I've seen much of his work, to be quite honest, besides the big ones like Goodfellas. What else has he done? Let's see here.
He's done a lot of stuff.
See, I still need to see Taxi Driver. I still haven't seen that. And everyone keeps comparing the new Joker to Taxi Driver, so I don't know what that means. So I definitely need to see that. Oh my God, he has done. Okay, I've seen Wolf of Wall Street. I didn't know he did that one. And okay, Shutter Island. Damn, that was a Scorsese too?
Yeah,
okay.
That was.
I've seen more than I thought.
it always throws people.
Okay.
But yeah, that was definitely one of Scorsese's films.
Okay, Cape Fear I've seen. All right, Casino, Goodfellas. Okay. Wait, there's The Last Temptation of Christ. I thought that said Passion of the Christ from 1980. I was like, was Passion of the Christ a remake? No, Last Temptation of Christ. Okay, so apparently I've seen more movies than I thought, but this is his earliest film that I've seen. From 1980.
I would really be intrigued to see what you'd have to say about Taxi Driver, only because, and I'm like I said, I'm not like poking fun or anything, but the issue you had with this film was the fact that Jake LaMotta was not a very good person. He's not a very good He was not a very good character. He's weirdly, I described it as a train wreck at the beginning of this film because it's like he is captivating to watch, even though through all the film, I was like, I fucking hate this guy. He never had his save the cat moment where like, oh, maybe there's a shred of decency to him. No, he's just a piece of shit.
There was only like a couple times where he kind of won me over, and it was when he was at the table with everyone and he was just kind of like ragging on them and shitting on them. I was like, this guy's kind of funny, and then he just went right back to being an asshole. So I was like, there was like 2 or 3 moments where I was like, oh, maybe no, he's just complete asshole. No redeeming qualities.
So and through a good portion of the career that, of working together that Scorsese and De Niro have had, De Niro has played a lot of shitty characters. But I'd be curious to see what you think of Taxi Driver, because I'm not gonna lie, he is a shitty person in that.
In that one too.
But he's a shitty person who thinks he's doing the right thing. So there's this weird like moral compass dilemma in there where he is a bad person. He's a bad He's a bad person who thinks he's trying to do the right thing.
Well, good news is that it's on HBO Max, and it was funny enough because I was going to check out, since I watched Scorsese today, I was going to check out another one tonight. So I will probably end up watching this tonight just so I can have Scorsese fresh in my mind and know kind of his vibe and go into this one with a better understanding. Obviously, I don't think Taxi Driver is a biopic. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. So, but yeah.
Okay.
Well, character study maybe?
We are not talking about Taxi Driver, but I will give you a little information. We're talking about all things to do with Scorsese.
Okay.
So, directed by Martin Scorsese, obviously 1976, written by Paul Schrader, who also did rewrites on Raging Bull. Paul Schrader says that he loosely based Taxi Driver off of his life. Meaning, when there was a period of time where Paul Schrader was struggling with his own mental health and living in New York, and that he said he would just drive around at night in the city of New York and just have all these really just dark, brooding thoughts. He said it never ended up becoming anything. Like, he never went and like killed anyone and did shit like that. But, he did say, he would, like I said, he was battling insomnia. And he would frequent like pornographic movie theaters, which the character in Taxi Driver goes to because they were open all night. And he was just found himself in this really weird like fever dream half the time. So he said he was trying to relate his experiences of being a very unhappy person and put that into a script.
Okay, so yeah, it's just kind of like inspired. Yeah, kind of just like inspired by things. So it just sounds like he has very, very intrusive thoughts that he has to fight off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay, well, I'm going to check that because it's barely even 2 hours. So I think I'm going to check that one out tonight. So you'll get my full review.
Perfect.
Probably in the morning.
So with Raging Bull, like I said, I found myself really gravitating towards boxing movies over the last couple years. Okay. Obviously, Rocky is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Rocky. Very recently, I saw Requiem for a Heavyweight, which was a movie that Mill Creek just put out that predates all of these movies by quite a bit. And just like the more and more I delve into the world of boxing movies, there's something about them that I appreciate. I don't even like boxing that much. I don't dislike it.
Right.
I just don't watch it. I'm a pro wrestling guy.
Okay.
But there's something about these movies that I find really fascinating.
Have you seen, speaking on the topic of just boxing movies, I don't think this is necessarily a boxing movie, but Fighting with My Family with Florence Pugh and The Rock.
I saw that.
Okay.
Based on the real wrestler Paige.
Yeah, okay. So I think that's more wrestling, but I was just going to say, if you hadn't seen that, I would highly suggest that. That was a shockingly good one that Gabby recommended out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, I need to tell people about this because I had never heard of it up until that point, so I just figured I would ask if you had seen that, but So what have you been watching recently besides like Rocky and Requiem for a Heavyweight?
For boxing movies, I actually haven't watched a whole lot of them recently. It just every time I end up picking up one, I find myself really enjoying it. Like funny enough, I don't own the first Creed, even though I love that movie. But I bought Creed 2 because I found it for $5, and I thought I'm eventually gonna own Creed.
Yeah.
Like I remember I saw The Fighter back when it came out, and I thought that was a really good movie. I liked $1 Million Baby quite a bit.
Okay.
Like I said, all the Rocky movies I'm a sucker for. So
I was actually at Best Buy today, and I happened to see Rocky 2, 3, and 4 in Steelbook, and I was like, nice. I guess that's
perfect because I actually only own Rocky 1.
That would have been great. They're only like $20 or something like that.
Have you seen Rocky?
I have not seen Rocky. No, that's another one on my shame list.
That is one that I would love to hear your thoughts on, because if your problem with Raging Bull is Jake LaMotta as a character and how he's just not a very good person,
yeah,
Rocky I think is one of the most interesting characters ever put to screen, and I think it's a nearly perfect screenplay, if you can believe it, written by Sylvester Stallone.
He wrote it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
He was a struggling actor who could not find roles for himself outside of just playing the heavy.
Oh wow!
And he wanted something better, so he wrote it very loosely based on the life of the boxer Rocky Marciano.
Wow!
And wrote it for himself.
That's awesome.
And it's legitimately one of the best written screenplays.
Okay. Wow. Oh, it's from the same director who did Karate Kid. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And my good buddy Lloyd Kaufman worked on that movie.
On Rocky?
Yeah. If you go back and listen to my episode on Rocky,
okay,
I interview Lloyd at the end of it for like 40 minutes where he's just talking about Rocky.
Nice. Alrighty. Very nice.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna go down a rabbit hole of just boxing movies now. I can see it now. It's gonna be my life for the foreseeable future. I'm gonna seek out all these.
Isn't it weird? Like sometimes the sports films, like I like movies about sports more than I like sports.
Yeah, I'm not except for hockey. Like I'll watch hockey all day.
I love hockey. Yeah. But there's not a whole lot of good hockey movies. There's not a lot of hockey movies. But
Goon is the only one I can think of.
Goon is great. Slapshot is great.
Okay, and like the D2 Mighty Ducks, but those are like kids movies,
The first Mighty Ducks movie is a legitimately good movie though.
Yeah. The first one, is
Slapshot is always the best movie about hockey, in my personal opinion.
I think I've seen that, but it's been ages.
But like baseball, like I don't enjoy watching, but I like the movies, and weirdly enough, I like the video games. I just don't like watching baseball.
Yeah, same. I'm the same way.
So you said you had some notes for Raging Bull. What haven't we touched on yet?
Oh, let's see here. So I take a lot of notes, but I was a fan of how they told the story. Because you're introduced to. I didn't even realize it was Jake LaMotta at the beginning. It's just De Niro with some makeup on. But you're introduced to him, and then
his
follow
fucking nose, man.
Yeah, I know. I was like, "Is this De Niro?"
Amanda had the same problem. She's like, "Where's Robert De Niro in this movie?" He's like, "That's him." She's like, "That's not Robert De Niro." Yeah, and it wasn't until like some of the boxing scenes that she saw it. But like,
yeah, that's De Niro. So the narrative storytelling I like. You follow him from his first fight from 1941, and then you follow him all through these fights, and it tells you like Detroit 1943.
I think he goes all the way to 1962.
Yeah, it goes, from my notes, it goes all the way to 49, 50, 56, 57. The one I have is 58, but I think the very last thing that's shown is like 62. So yeah, you follow him for like 20 years, and I did enjoy that storytelling aspect.
He looks terrible for 40-something.
Yeah, he does. He really does, because he gets beat up. He usually, he wins most of his fights, but there's a few where like that one where he was just like letting him beat him up, and he's like, "Hey, I never went down. I was like, "Yeah, you look like shit though. Look at your face. Yeah. You're all puffy, man." It was him and Robinson, because him and Robinson fought like five or six times.
They only touched on it a little bit, but he did that to get a title shot.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's pretty much showing that he can play ball with the mafia.
Yeah, because at one point, him and
there's that great scene where him and Joey are talking. He goes, "Put your hands up, pretend like you're gonna hit me," and then he fucking falls down. How hard is that?
Yeah. That's what I gotta do. You gotta fall over. He's like, yeah, because he was trying to fight that guy that was very bad. Very bad. He's like, come on. He's like, hit me. And they knew he was throwing it. Yeah, so it was the narrative was very nice. I enjoy a very detailed, like this happened this date, and then there's that really fun montage that they have where it's like him just fighting a whole bunch of people.
Oh my god, there was this one moment in that montage where, like, it's like showing like one of his opponents beating him up, and then like the camera pans and then it pans back, and then it's a different opponent and he's fighting him, and it's like so fucking seamless.
Yeah, that was a really fun little montage, and then you see them get married in that montage. And
and we didn't even talk about it, but like when they would cut to color, the only time they ever cut to color was for those home movie sequences.
Oh yeah, that was the only time it was in color. I just realized that. Yeah, that little montage where they were filming each other at the car and making goofy faces and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so you follow him for like a few years, and then like 1947, nobody wants to fight him, everybody's afraid of him, and then he fights the new kid, Gennaro or whatever, and then he beats the absolute shit out of him, and it's just it's a very interesting story about how he finally goes to get his title, which takes him a lot of work, but I just really love how the story was told.
Yeah,
and
it's also interesting too because I alluded to it earlier, but like the boxing sequences are almost like an accompaniment to what's going on in his life. So like when he gets the absolute worst of, one of his worst moments of being jealous, just because his wife said a guy's attractive.
Yeah, she doesn't even know who he is. She was
she's just using young attractive like as being like a popular guy.
Yeah,
and then it just cuts to him beating the living fuck out of that guy. It's the fighting scenes are an accompaniment to what's going on in his life, and I don't want to say he takes all of his anger out in there because he takes a lot of anger out on people when he's not in the boxing ring. Yeah, but he channels it.
So did she really fess up to like doing all those guys, or was she just saying that to rile him?
She's saying that because that's the only thing he wants to hear.
Okay.
Because saying she didn't do it didn't mean anything. So at one point she's just saying shit.
Get away!
Open the door.
No.
Why'd you do it, huh? Why'd you do it?
I didn't do anything.
Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? Why did you fuck them?
Do what? I didn't do anything! I fucked all of them! What do you want me to say?
What do you mean you fuck? Who'd you fuck?
I fucked all of them, Tommy, Salvi, your brother, all of them. I sucked your brother's cock. What do you want me to say?
You sucked his cock.
Yeah, I sucked his cock and everybody else on the fucking street, too. What do you want? You're nothing but a fat pig, selfish fool.
What fucking you?
His fucking cock's bigger than yours, too!
Yeah, it was like, because she was like, I fucked your brother and his dick was bigger than yours. And I was just like, really?
And then I felt so bad. Joe Pesci's just sitting there having dinner with his kids.
He just gets tackled.
Gets the shit beat out of him.
He head through the glass. Everyone's like, calm down. He's just pummeling him. I was like, oh my God, poor Joe Pesci, man. He didn't do anything. He got blindsided. Poor little guy.
He's just trying to fucking enjoy his like beef stroganoff or whatever the fuck they're eating. I don't even know.
Oh, it's so funny. You see De Niro going out his door. It's like, where are you going? It's like, I know where he's going. He's going to beat the shit out of Joey. And boy, did he.
I love how like so much of the dialogue in this movie is just, you fuck my wife.
Yeah, so much of it. He's like, what do you want me to say? I'm not answering that. And it was funny because I was like, that's kind of more suspicious than just saying no.
That's what I said. But then Amanda's Amanda's like, I see why he's not saying anything because it's kind of fucked up for him to even suggest that.
It's kind of messed up to be suggesting that because she hasn't done anything. And she even when he was like grilling her when she was talking to Tommy when they were in that restaurant when they were both there, she told him exactly everything that she did, and he still didn't believe it. And I'm like, man, he's got some real jealousy issues.
It's interesting too because the character of Vicky, she's like, she's 15 when she met Jake.
Right.
Didn't have much of a life like before him, I imagine. She's 15. She's fucking still in high school.
Right.
Went straight, pretty much maybe was with him for maybe like a year or two before they got married. I don't know how old they were, but then she went straight from being in high school to being a fucking mother.
Yeah, because eventually they had 3 kids.
Here's the thing. I don't think she was up to anything, but she is friends with these mafia dudes. She's a tough woman.
She's tough, yeah.
And she knows these dudes, and if she wanted to, they probably could have done something about Jake. Though Kathy Moriarty said something really interesting. I was watching on the Criterion disc, they had like a making of thing. Oop, what button I hit? I was watching like a making of thing for Raging Bull, and she said it was really tough for her because so many of the people who wrote the film and everything, Jake was legitimately on the set for this movie, so he's he was like their consultant. He was there talking them through things, and I think that's kind of an interesting aspect to it. He said one of the early screenwriters met with the real Vicky LaMotta and got a lot of stories from her, and he's like not necessarily like salacious things that went into the film, but a lot of like character pieces that really helped them build who the character of Jake and Vicky are.
Oh, wow.
But what Kathy Moriarty said was really hard for her. She said she really wanted to sit down and talk with Vicky.
Yeah.
But she didn't want to, only because Scorsese kept saying throughout the making of this film that they are viewing Vicky through Jake's lens.
Right.
So she didn't want to have too much knowledge of what Vicky was thinking and who she was as a person, because it's not from that perspective. So she said she really just wanted to sit down with her and have a conversation with her, but never was able to.
Dang.
But there is an actually interesting an interview on there where Kathy Moriarty and Vicky LaMotta are being interviewed together.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of cool.
So at least they do get to talk at some point about something.
Yeah. It's like, you did a shit job, woman.
I am not like that at all. Well, see, and I didn't know that either. So that kind of makes me able to appreciate the movie just a little bit more, knowing the fact that, the real people are there,
and
kind of guiding.
And it's also knowing that, Scorsese is really just viewing the character of Vicky through Jake's eyes explains why there's not more of her, if that makes sense. She's just being treated like an object, because that's how he views these people. Jake LaMotta views, women as these like angelic creatures until they've had sex, and then after they've had sex, he assumes that's all, that they're just gonna go fuck around on him.
Right.
He's a really paranoid person.
Yeah, and I guess I didn't really, and this is why I love talking about movies and, being able to see other people's perspectives, is I didn't even see that or notice that until you just kind of mentioned that. He's really just projecting all of his own insecurities onto someone else and then like blaming them for doing things that they're not. So it's almost like a character study on this guy as well. You learn a lot about him, and he really doesn't have a character arc. You don't like him by the end of the movie.
No, and it's interesting. Like, he is a very rich 3-dimensional character. He just happens to be a piece of shit as well.
Right. So it's like, great, you're telling me so much about this guy that I don't even like, but at the same time, it is very interesting to know so much about him.
And I think we also watch hoping that there'll be like a shred of decency, and they never quite get it.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, halfway through, I'm like, okay, maybe there'll be this character arc where you get to the end of the movie and you're like, yeah, you've been a shitbag, but you've recognized that and you can try to make amends and stuff like that. You don't get that. But I mean, yes, you do hope for that. So this movie definitely conveys a lot of emotions, or at least I had a lot of emotions watching it. Like, I was angry sometimes, I was happy, I was having fun, I was hopeful. So definitely you go through some emotions watching this movie for sure. It invokes feeling. That's definitely for sure.
Definitely. So do you have anything else on your list of notes?
Oh, no, I write things down in chronological order just in case we talk about anything specific. Not really. Besides, there was one thing. Okay, there was one thing I liked about the fight in Detroit, 1950. It was LaMotta versus, oh God, I think he was the German guy. and he was playing possum with the guy for a minute, kind of just letting him beat him up, and then he just completely turns around and just pummels the like. That was Thrill House moment too. Thrill House moment, real quick. I know that we do that here. So it was when he was kicking the shit out of De Niro. But then that got superseded by Joe Pesci's scene when he goes to get Vicky from that restaurant, and he's like, we're leaving, and then she's like, no, he's like, no, we're getting the fuck out of here, and then he's just like spills water on someone and just starts
fuck out of that guy,
and then he goes outside, he's smashing the guy's like head in the door. I was like, whoa, Pesci, that was I was Pesci. Like, ooh, yeah, I'm into this. I'm like, I'm ready for more. Pesci going absolutely feral on these people. Gotta love Pesci. So yeah, other than that, yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoyed it more. Like I said, once I knew it was the biopic movie, but I do want to rewatch it with that lens. But I'd say overall, it was definitely a very well done, very well crafted movie with a fantastic cast and a great job acting. So
for me, I feel like I might have had a similar Thrill House moment. Like I was
okay.
I kind of had two of them.
Yeah.
You know, I had like my partial Thrill House moment. You know, when you start off with that really beautifully lit shot of Jake during the credits of him just kind of like shadow boxing in the ring, and you get the credits and everything, and that tranquil moment is disrupted with him just getting pummeled in the fucking face. And I was like, oh, that is just a brilliant piece of cutting. But then I also, like I said, I loved that moment too that you were talking about where, you know, his jealousy into the fight with De Niro. But then, like, I think some of, like, just one of the best, like, acted scenes for me is the I guess the final fight between Jake and Joey when he's, like, fixing that television.
Oh,
and they're both just so good in that scene, and it's almost like they're having almost a boxing match with their words.
Hey Joe, what happened when you and Salvi at the Copa that time?
What?
When you gave him a beating?
I mean, when I caught his head in the taxi cab door, I was banging it, smacked him with a glass and everything?
Yeah.
I told you about that. Huh?
No.
I never told you?
No, you never told me.
That was no big thing anyway. I smacked him in the mouth. He was drunk. He started some shit. Had to go downtown, straighten it all out with Tom. It's all forgotten about, supposedly, anyway.
How come you never told me about it?
Well, it didn't have anything to do with you.
Had nothing to do with me?
No.
Who did it have something to do with? Vicky?
Hey, Jack, I just explained the whole thing to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
It was between me and Salvi. If it had anything to do with you and Vicky, I would have told you about it.
That's not what I heard, Joe.
What do you mean that's not what you heard?
That's not what I heard.
What'd you hear?
I heard some things.
You heard about me and Salvi, then?
I heard things, Joey.
Yeah, you heard that I cracked Salvi all around. What'd you hear?
Joey. I heard things.
What things you heard?
I heard some things.
Hey, you heard things. You want to worry? Don't start that worrying shit. You know what you should worry about? Worry you got this title fight next month. That's what you should worry about. Do that.
Yeah. No, that was a great scene, too. There's a lot of great scenes with dialogue that really just pull you in, and that was definitely one for me as well. I can totally agree with that.
Yeah, so I think this movie is incredible. I think it's just going to grow on me the more I see it. Will it dethrone Rocky? I don't know. Rocky's just fucking incredible. But
right.
Yeah, I'm also glad I finally saw this movie too, because it was not at all it wasn't the movie I was expecting it to be, and I'm glad it wasn't. You know, because like I said, I've seen so many boxing movies and know kind of how these play out, and I just really appreciate the way that this story was told. I appreciate that Jake LaMotta was not a good person. It's because it added a different element to, because like usually what they try to do in these movies is like you have this big brute who has got a heart of gold. He doesn't. He is just purely a piece of shit.
It is something different to see, because, usually the guy you're watching, you're rooting for, you're like, I like this guy. This guy, you're like, I fucking hate this guy. It's like, this guy is worthless. What the heck? What am I following him for? But,
the best thing about this character is he's got that really killer leopard print robe.
Yeah, he does.
Every time he had that robe, I was like, "Fuck yeah, that's a look."
That is 80s right there, baby. Oh man. So what did you rate it on the Letterboxd?
I gave it 4. I gave it 4 and a heart.
Yeah, 4 and a heart. That's where I'm at. I told Gabby, I was like, I'm gonna give it a half an extra star on top of what I was gonna give it. Now that I know it's a biopic, so I was gonna give it a 3.5, and I was like, I'll give it a 4.
And it's also one of those movies. It's like I've seen movies like this, not necessarily that. Like I can't argue that it's a well-made movie.
Right. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, I cannot argue that it's made bad, like poorly.
Yeah. Sometimes I've seen those movies. Like you're really well made. You're just not gonna get the heart.
Yeah, no, I've done that before too. Do you know why, before we wrap up here, that he chose to do black and white? I mean, it was 80s. It's not like that was...
He chose that to separate themselves from a lot of it. Because he said at the time there was quite a few other boxing movies coming out. Okay. And he just thought it would help separate them a little bit. And
well, and it is set in the 40s primarily, so I mean that would be fitting for the 40s. I mean, I know they had color,
it's
but
really it throws, because even the way that Michael Chapman lit this film, it's lit like an older film than it realistically is. And like if it wasn't for the cast, I would assume this movie's a lot older.
Yeah, same.
It's like the movie Psycho, for example. Psycho came out in 1960. Every film that came out that year, other than Psycho, not including low budget films. Every big budget film that came out that year was in color.
Right.
So like I always feel like Psycho's a lot older than it is until I look at the year. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, 1960. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So sometimes it's a creative choice, and
definitely worked.
I can't picture Raging Bull in color.
Well, it's weird because the Letterboxd has... It's very confusing because you pull up Raging Bull and there's a picture of him right here in color. So I thought the movie was going to be in color, and then because down here, it's very weird. It's very misleading. So I'm like, what the hell? But the cover art's black and white, but I was like, whatever, that might not be accurate. So I turned it on, it's black and white. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. I don't mind.
What's interesting too, I don't think the movie had a proper score.
Had a proper score?
Meaning, like, it had music in it, but it was like there was like some classical music that was played throughout the movie, but it didn't have a composer. It didn't have music that was composed for the movie. And like I said, there was definitely music in it, but it wasn't like overpowering. And I honestly didn't feel like I missed it.
No, I didn't even I didn't even notice until you said that. I was like, you're right.
It's like when you like the first time that you see like No Country for Old Men and realize, oh fuck, this movie does not have a score.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch that now because
I think it's got some sound
that.
design that can like fill in for score at times, maybe some like ominous tones, but like it doesn't have a score.
That's not a score. That's not the same thing. All right. I think this is the first. Time we've had exactly the same rating. I know usually we're close, but I think this is the first time to both get.
Yeah, we're usually within a star of each other.
Yeah. So it's nice. Okay, so it's nice to see we both enjoyed it, and I could see this going up upon more watches. I could easily see this at a 4 or 5 if I gave it a few more watches and really started to dissect it a little bit more. But definitely a recommendation.
I think it's since unfortunately at least for the time being Nick is not with us, I'm gonna have to change the way that Shameless Approved works. So I think if me and the co-host of the day both agree on it, it's Shameless Approved.
Shameless Approved.
Raging Bull.
All right.
Shameless Approved.
This is definitely one I would like to hear at some point. We'll have to make Nick watch and share his thoughts with us. I would love to hear, his hot take, because he's always got
He's got the best hot takes.
He's got the best hot takes. Every time he's like, I got a hot take, I'm like, oh, let me strap in. I got to be ready.
Get ready for it.
I got to be ready for this.
But no, like this is one of those, whatever the movie equivalent of an earworm is how this movie feels. Because like, I just watched it a couple days ago, but like I've been thinking about it since, and like there's like 3 commentary tracks on the Criterion. I want to watch them all.
Oh wow! Oh, so there's 3 different people.
Doing I'll tell you. I've got it here with me.
The commentary tracks include
Raging Bull.
Nice. Yep, that's a good cover.
All right. 3 audio commentaries featuring Scorsese and editor Thelma Schoonmaker. That's probably going to be the first one I watch.
Oh, yeah.
Director of photography Michael Chapman, producers Robert Chartoff and Erwin Winkler, along with casting director Sis Corman, music consultant Robbie Robertson, and others. Wow. I have a feeling that one's going to be like one of those Frankenstein commentaries where they have a bunch of single interviews that they've just put together. I don't know, but that's a lot of people. And
a lot of people.
Others.
And others. Oh my God. Yeah, that's a bit much.
And then the final one, and this one seems really fascinating. Boxer Jake LaMotta with screenwriters Mardik Martin and Paul Schrader.
That is definitely I would be interested to hear that one.
So
wow, 3 different commentaries. Criterion really is just too good to us.
Yeah, I already own a really nice version of Taxi Driver, but if they ever put it out, I'd buy it again.
Yep, that's the problem I have too. I have some Scream Factories on Blu-rays. Like, hey, we're putting them out in 4K. I'm like, oh, fine, I'll upgrade to 4K. Guys are killing me.
And then I'll slide into your DMs and be like, what you selling them Blu-rays for?
Right, yeah. What can I take off your hands for very cheap? Oh, yeah. Raging Bull. Definitely a good time.
Worth checking out. So was there anything else you wanted to say about Raging Bull before we sign off for the night?
No, it's going to be a movie I think about for the next few days for sure, and I will revisit, but I'm really glad
it's going to be interesting if you watch Taxi Driver tonight and just kind of see how those blend, because like he did Taxi Driver, I think he did
Taxi Driver was before this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, New York, and then Raging Bull.
Yes, I think so. I don't remember. Here, I'm gonna pull up his filmography because it's still like, and Taxi Driver was such a big hit for him.
That's why I'm surprised you were saying Raging Bull was his masterpiece. I was like, I thought it was Taxi Driver.
Well, you know, it's a lot of people kind of view it that way. Okay. But no, he did Taxi Driver, New York, and then Raging Bull.
Okay, so there's only one in between. But yeah, this should be a very interesting kind of double feature today. Plus, they're both rated almost similarly. Raging Bull 8.1, Taxi Driver 8.2 on, and they both have 4 2s on Letterboxd, so very similarly rated.
Hell yeah.
All right.
That's
all I have to say. That's
Austin, thank you very much for coming on the podcast, even though, technical difficulties aside and my mouse dying halfway through. And
oh, you're fine. Thank you for having me.
And if you guys, let me know what you think of Raging Bull. No one ever comments when I ask this shit, but, I'm going to do it anyways.
Still going to do it.
Tell me what you think of Raging Bull. Tell me what your favorite boxing movies are. Tell me which boxing movies I should see. And next week I'll give you guys a little bit of preview of what's coming up, since I actually did my due diligence and planned out my schedule. Austin, you're gonna be back a couple times. So next week, or not next, whenever the next episode comes out.
Next episode.
My recording schedule and my release schedule are 2 very different things.
Yeah.
The next episode I'm going to be recording, also from 1980. I'll be talking with my friend Nico Aldrich about William Friedkin's Cruising.
Ooh.
And then after that, Austin, you'll be back again with 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Ooh, yes.
After that, this was a request by my friend Mark Krofcheck, Mark the Movie Man. If you are on TikTok, he does 1-minute film reviews. I don't know how he keeps it under a minute, but he always does. He requested, because he'd never seen it, from 2011, Nicholas Winding Refn's Drive.
Oh, very nice.
And then I have a series of America movies. We are going to be doing a double feature episode with my buddy Kyle Arpke. We're going to be talking about Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick, because I've never seen either of them. And then
you haven't seen either?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, I'll have the Christopher Kai House, one of the co-founders of the Twisted Dreams Horror Festival here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to be talking about Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in America.
Wow.
So, and then we got more after that, but I want to tease a little bit. And then upcoming as well, we have the next episode of Cage is the Rage coming up. I was going to start putting them just on Patreon after the last episode, but this next one we're going to be doing the Cotton Club. But we also might play around with the timeline a little bit and also talk about Renfield. So I might just give that one out for free. Yeah. So tell us a little bit what's going on in the Frightmares podcast. What's coming up, Austin?
Oh boy, let's see. It is April this month. We are doing Diversity Month, so we are doing movies from all around the country, excluding America for obvious reasons.
You mean all around the world?
Damn it, I did that last time. All around the world.
All around the country, excluding
all
America.
Around the country. That's
Wait,
all
what?
we need. No, I did that on my episode. All around the world. So we've got a lot of good stuff coming up this week, or this month. Actually, you're going to be joining me for an Italian slasher, Tenebrae, this week in 2 days. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then we've got La Llorona from Guatemala. And then we are doing a bonus episode with my buddy Mikey, because he is also Dutch, but we're doing Amsterdam. Okay. That's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, come check us out. You can find us where all fine podcasts are sold, on Apple Music and Google, whatever it is. You can find us pretty much anywhere. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and the Slasher app at Frightmares Podcast.
Also check out his TikTok. He does some good shit over on the TikToks.
Silver.Shamrock. Thank you. I do my best. I got to actually do my new release Tuesday video here.
All right. Well,
after this,
I'll let you get to that then. Everyone, I appreciate you guys tuning into the Shameless Picture Show, especially as we've been going through some transitions. It's going to be a good time. Check out the Cinepunks Network for some other great podcasts, and be sure to be here next time. Shame Time, Shame Place, Shameless Picture Show. I finally got it right.
I love it so much. Shame Times. It's so good, though.
The Shameless Picture Show is recorded in Milwaukee, Wisconsin and Easton, Maryland, and is hosted and produced by Nick Richards and Michael Viers. Today's episode was edited by Michael Viers. Our opening theme music was written especially for us by The Directionals, with narration by Zach McClain. The end credit music you're enjoying at the moment was generously provided by my friends in the band 10 Speed. The Shameless graphic design is masterfully done by Amanda Viers. An extra special thank you to all of our Patreon supporters and to our generous sponsors. We are on Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, Google Play, and Libsyn. You can find links for all these amazing people in the description below.